Hello there, I am Tabitha Brown, and this is my husband.
Chance Brown.
And this is Couch Conversations. All right, now go on and introduce yourself.
Okay, I'm the spokesperson, I guess. My name is Kim Miller, and this is my husband, Jesse Miller. Mm-hmm. And we have been married. It will be 13 years. I always round up. It will be 13 years next month.
Oh, very good. Yes.
Hey, did you know that?
Yeah, I did. I was on point. I was ready for it.
Okay.
We talked about it in the car, yes. Yes.
And what is your favorite part about marriage?
You know what? I think I love that it continues to evolve. So like being able to look each year and see kind of where we're coming and where we're growing, that's my favorite part.
Oh, all right.
My favorite part, just having a teammate through like dark moments, dope moments, celebrations, when you're not feeling cool. She's more of the half full all the time, and I'm like, all right, but it always picks us up. So the balance of it, I love. Is just having a teammate, like a real talk teammate. Yeah.
Yes, love that. All right, very good. Come on in the room and tell us who you is and things.
Hey, I'm the spokesperson for us. How you doing? We talked about it. I'm Ashley Newby, and this is my partner, Shanita Nicholas, and we have been engaged for 5 years together. Oh, we've been engaged for 3 years. Together for 5 years.
Gotta get them numbers right.
Gotta get the numbers right. It's like we talked about it. Dang it. Yeah.
Right. Very good. Yeah. And then what is your favorite part about marriage? Oh, well, you're not there yet, but you're together. So, well, maybe about being engaged.
Yeah, I think for me, it's really knowing that I don't know what 3 years looks like from now, but I'm excited about it. Oh. And that's, something I had never had before.
Yeah, love that.
Excitement in the unknown.
Yeah, the unknown, the uncertainty, and really just so far being on this journey and continue to learn about each other as we grow every day, every month, every minute. Yeah. We're growing into new people and just discovering who she is, who I am in those moments. So it's been great. It's been fun.
Good. Oh, I love it. What's your favorite part about marriage, babe?
It's a part of me that want to hold it down for the fellas. Come on. Nah, you know what? My favorite part of being married is being able to be my true, authentic self. Mm-hmm. Not having to put on. It's a lot of pressures in the everyday world when you're going outside of your home or outside in other relationships where people have an expectation of you. Mm-hmm. And I can be goofy with my wife. I can, there's a time and place for me to be romantic, and it's a time and place for me where I just want to chill. And I don't want to be looking over my shoulder wondering if it is appealing, if it's professional, if it's acceptable, in society. I can just, what I hear, a lot of people say, let my hair down. I ain't got to be the dude that's pulling the LL Cool J. And, I ain't got, I can just be me. That's the first thing that comes to mind. And in my lifetime, that's important. In all my years, that's very important to me.
Yes. Well, my favorite thing is no judgment. Kind of goes hand in hand with what everyone is saying, really. But being able to just be me and taking me as I am, which is kind of perfect for our topic today. Our discussion is about dream chasing. And you have taken me as I am, as a dreamer, ever since we've been together. I've been pursuing my dreams since I was 19. And so, I know it hasn't been easy, but here we are, okay? Was it easy, babe? Was it always easy?
Nah. Nah, it ain't easy, but I wouldn't change it, though. I think that's probably one of the most attractive things about you to me is your relentless pursuit of what you want. Mm-hmm. I think somewhere along the way, I kind of lost my own courage and made up a lot of excuses. So I was living somewhat through you. So I wouldn't change it. I wouldn't change it. You were, like I've told you before, my dog in the fight. So
yes. Sorry. I was gonna start barking. Got caught up in the moment. Very good. So with that, who are my dreamers in the room?
We're kind of mixed.
I was gonna say, we're kind of mixed too, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, has a conversation happened where one is ready to really wholeheartedly pursue the dream, and the other one isn't quite ready yet? Who is that?
Yeah, I guess I'm the dreamer in
Okay.
that respect. It was after we met, so we kind of met in our own respective careers and had to learn each other. And Ash talked about like continuing to learn each other throughout the time, because I was an attorney when we first met, and very corporate suits and the whole nine. But my passion was to open a coffee shop. And it's very different. It's a lot less money. It is, a whole change in how we were going to live. It led us to thinking about, and doing moving locations. We moved from a very nice apartment to a nice apartment in Inglewood, but it's a little different. Little downsize.
Be closer to the business and things like that. So having those conversations, like she said very early on of, this is what I want to do. This is my dream. And I'm like, all right, what we doing? How we doing it? Like, how do we make it happen? Because that wasn't, my passion. It wasn't, I wasn't the dreamer at the time. I was like, I'm making good money in the music industry, and like, I'm here. And so I'm trying to see where it goes. But kind of like you said, Chance, of like, being inspired every day by someone who has a dream just kind of starts to lift you up. It starts to move you. Be like, all right, let me watch you, let me support you, so that I too, find where my passion is, and all the things that I learned every day from watching her, from being, she also has a nonprofit and like business pitch competitions and like, all types of things. So being in different rooms and different areas. So I think that, being a supporter and being a part of that journey was a no-brainer for me, but it definitely was not easy, and definitely brought up a lot of
I
conversation.
don't think I would have been able to do all the things I've had such a privilege to do without that support. Like, to know if I am wildly successful, or if I fail completely, that it's going to be okay. We're going to have an amazing life either way, and we'll figure it out. And having that level of support and solace and peace made it possible to do things that we get to do now.
Now, were you afraid?
Never afraid. I wasn't, even to this day, we're still growing. We're 2 years in the business, so it's not afraid. I was just like, we're doing this, and we wake up every day choosing to do this and choosing to love each other through the ups and the downs. We don't know what the day is going to bring. We don't know if we're going to be out of coffee. Like, like, we out of coffee. All right, let's go get some more. Like, we got
Better to be out of coffee than to be out of money, though, ain't it?
Exactly. So it's just like, I'm very much a problem solver, and so that's just kind of how I've been raised, and just kind of what I am at the core. So there's never a no. It's always a soft yes. And how do we?
Yes, I
it's
like
a soft
it.
yes. And how do we get there? What's the steps we take? Even if it's little steps, things will unravel and the universe will provide.
Love that. Oh, very good. Okay, so.
Yeah, so the thing about Jesse and I, we got together very young. We got married at 23. We got together at like 21, 22. So I don't know that it was a conversation. I just knew who he was. Like, I knew who I got in a relationship with. He was a musician. He was a creative. So it was never a choice that I had to make per se. When I decided to be with him, I knew what I was getting. So that part was easy. I fell in love with him as he was, but the part that, you don't know what that looks like each year. So as much as I also am a dreamer, like I have my podcast, I have different things that I do now, I'm also that like corporate, I'm gonna hold it down while you really, really go chase the dream. And that's hard sometimes. Like I remember a Christmas, he was traveling and I was by myself. And I remember waking up that, like, I feel like I could cry thinking about it, but those are the moments you don't think about. Like, I'm by myself for Christmas and I was in New York. He was, my family's in Texas. So those are the things that you don't really calculate, but I don't know that I would have chose a different path because he was able to travel the world, So yeah, I mean, it was never a conversation, but it's a constant it's a constant conversation of what this looks like in each season, I guess you can say.
You sound more like me in our situation. I've dealt with those emotions before. I know what that feels like. I'm interested to know, though, what was hard about it for you? In terms of, or was it hard for you? Or were you just out there making music and just handling your business, knowing that you had a support system?
Yeah, that sounds dope.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think musically the climb isn't her. I'll tell you personally, just the whole, and I'm sure y'all been in it through auditions and all that stuff like that, but just, you know, whatever meetings you have, and it's like, you leave really optimistic, like, I ain't heard from you in like mad long, and then you start to get a little jaded off of conversations, but also at the same time, you get confirmations of, all right, you on the right path, you reaching certain goals or whatever. My hardship in particular, because I've always played, I've always been able to like bring in a check or whatever, but I say like the last 2 years, I've been like super going hard as like a songwriter and really trying to get stuff placed to the point where I just start putting music out myself because I'm waiting on stuff to get placed and there's nothing happening. So, and encouragement from especially my wife and a few other people, but just do it yourself, which makes me a little bit uncomfortable because that means, all right, I may slide back from playing or bringing a check in, and I'm like, man, I'm one of them dudes. I ain't comfortable with that. I'm not. But I'm also want to honor her belief in me and her dream in me. So I get into that little fight with myself every once in a while, like, all right, and I do just enough to like pick up a check there, but to really like go after it and lock in, that's been it's been cool having that support system there, but in terms of my dealing with it and all that stuff, and which also causes me to like go super hard because she's watching me, she's allowing me to go after my dreams. All right, dude, make sure you on point, you doing what you gotta do, it ain't.
Yeah, if I'm gonna be holding it down, you gotta do something there.
Yeah. I mean, we got 2 daughters and I'm changing diapers, you know, regular house stuff you shouldn't be praised for, but a little more now, because if you're gonna be at home, dog, doing this, like, figure this out. So
Hey, and this my lane. Let me do my thing.
Word.
Okay, so look,
Preach.
question for you. He just brought up a point that I know. How hard is it for you to deal with him doing free gigs? Because in their line of work, right? I know with me, every 2 weeks a check was coming, right? I'm going in here and I'm punching in and I'm punching out and this check is coming.
Yes.
Right? Now, me and my wife been together for decades. And I love her, and like I said, that's my dog in the fight. But every now and then I'm like, hey, look, this free, no pay. My questions would come a little bit different. So how many people gonna be there?
Yeah.
I'm talking about, like, what you mean? They ain't have no.
Right.
They ain't have no funding. What you talking about?
I was
What you
sowing
mean?
seeds.
This whole thing with paying your dues, I got tired of hearing that at the crib. I don't want to hear nothing about paying no dues.
Can't pay bills with exposure.
We can't pay no dues.
Yeah.
We done paid dues. We talking about 20 years of dues. When the dues gonna turn around?
Yeah.
So tell me what you feel about that in terms of him and free gigs.
Yeah. You know what? Listen, I will say it's not easy. You have your moments where you get frustrated. But I remember very, very early on, like, and I know it was God, like, leading me, like, don't ever press him about money. And I really, really felt like God told me that. Because I knew that was coming. I know that's coming. So is it hard? Yeah, when you got like $20 in the account and you like trying to juggle, you have those moments, but I always talk myself out of those moments because I know, like, I just know, first of all, he's bomb, one.
Come on.
And his work ethic, like, I see the level of like integrity he puts in, whether it's like a storefront or a mega stadium. He's like the same consistent. So for me, I don't doubt that God is gonna reward that.
Yeah.
And 2, it's just money. Like, I don't ever want to get like stuck on that. And I'm grateful that we were able to enjoy those lean seeds. Like, that was never an issue for us. We never, even if we had $10, we wasn't stressed. We was like, well, boo, we got this $10. We about to make it work. It never caused discord between us. Now, did I have my moments to myself? Absolutely.
And with the people putting on the function.
Listen.
I started counting the people
Counting
in the
their
crowd,
pockets,
like,
right? Yeah.
It's like 200 people here.
Yeah.
They just would have charged $10.
Right.
Or
At least,
right. Or if he
You know what I
found out that they was charged, he was like, "Now they was charging, but they didn't pay."
But
me."
they didn't pay you. But look at y'all, like
Yeah.
y'all are a testament of that to like us, like that does pay off. It does. It's no way around it. It's gonna pay off. So.
And as I'm getting older, I'm getting more select. It ain't too many of those free gigs on there.
You know that happens early on.
Yeah.
Honey,
But
yeah.
not to say like every opportunity that attached to a paycheck, and I'm still doing business, or I just have relationships based off stuff I did
That's right.
years ago or a couple years ago. I mean, let me look out for that. Some people will overpay for some stuff sometimes. Some people you ain't got it, but
Yeah.
like I said, I'm all about like worth it. I see you going for it because I'm going for it too. One of us got to make it.
Don't say
So
that.
I'm
Don't
with
say
it.
that overpay thing on.
Okay.
Don't say that.
Yeah, I take that back. Man.
Yeah.
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 My price is my price.
Yeah, they did okay.
Their
Yeah,
prices,
you're right.
yes, no.
My price is
yeah.
not dependent upon your budget.
Matter of fact, I've
Yeah.
never been overpaid for something.
Never let that be known. Yeah, but you got to take the good with the bad. Like as a wife of a creative, you have to take those lean seasons as well as those 50,000 gigs because they offset each other. I feel like in time they will offset each other.
They do.
Yeah. Thank you. Listen,
They do.
Yeah.
They do, honey. They do. Very good. Now I have a question. Because you were in the music industry, you said.
yes.
So did her dream become your dream?
Yes. Yeah. Like Shanita said, we met at a very transitional point in our lives individually.
Okay.
And so, we were making good money, but we both wanted more, just generally out of life and purpose. And so, I ended up losing my job, and I was working with artists, and I was working at a management company, and I got let go. And, I had to, I was dealing with my own things of trying to figure out, all right, well, do I want to be in this industry? Do I want to do this? And she supported me in that. And, similarly, not asking me, where the check at? Like, what you doing? Like, you at the house, I'm working a law job and I'm trying to do this. But at the same time, I knew that what I could bring to her dream and to the household was, the skills that I had, that I was doing inside my work. So I'm just like, all right, cool. You need someone to organize this and get this done and make sure that, the plumber gets to the shop and make sure that they don't overcharge, like all these little things that you're at, she was still at her law firm. So 9 to 5, she was there. She couldn't be there.
7 to 10.
Not 9 to 5. And sometimes it was like, sun up all day, all night. And so it was like, what can I give? And what I can give is my time and my energy and my skill and know-how to understand that things need to move. We want to get this done, so this needs to be done. And if you can't be there, then I'm gonna be there. And so I think that did overtake, but then it also allowed me to explore all types of skills and desires and different types of dreams. And now with the shop, I help and do the creative and from video to social media, all that kind of stuff, because someone needed to do that. And so stepping into that role and her supporting me in that and being like, all right, yeah, that look good. Like, let's keep it going. I don't know how to do it, so let's keep it going. And like you said, we have networks. We have people we can call on. And, even before we had things in the shop, we had holes in the ground. I would be telling friends who were in the music industry and producers, like, yeah, come through, like, see what we build is right on the way. Like, it's holes in the ground. We ain't got no coffee yet.
Right.
It's like, but you got to see what we do. It's coming.
Right.
So 2 years later, when people walk in who came to the shop when it was nothing, they working at all they big, corporate jobs, and they're a voice in a room. And, the amount of opportunities from those moments to be like, I visited this shop 2 years ago. They ain't never tasted coffee, but I was here.
Yeah.
And
Coffee's good.
The coffee's
Okay.
great. Coffee is great. Coffee is great. We got a little something for y'all.
Yeah.
Like if I know that what I was able to bring was to, my resources, my network, and that did overtake my life. And we had that conversation of being like, well, are we doing this together? Like, is like, and having those, she has a business partner and where I fit within that scope of things. And it was.
I think there's, I had to take a lot of moments and we had a lot of conversations because, early on, I was working a lot. Like, even 7 to 10 doesn't fully provide like the number of hours. And I was like, okay, well, I wanted, Ash to chase her dreams and to like figure out what that was. And I was so excited about, seeing that. But I had to check myself sometimes too of like, okay, am I getting resentful at all? And I if I did have that feeling, I'd be like, we gotta talk. Like, I'm having this feeling, like, why? What is it that I need and what is it that you need for us to be in this situation and build this ecosystem that we are both uplifted? And when I took those moments back, exactly what Ash just said of like, I couldn't meet the plumber. I literally, there were things like I literally couldn't do. And like, when I think back now, it's like the timing was actually perfect, and it now we're at a point of, I'm starting to like really chase my dreams and you're at a point where you found where your passion is. And so it's just, timing has become so important to like reflect on and think through and understanding feelings, like even if I didn't understand it, and I've gotten better at just saying like, I don't know what I'm feeling right now, but I'm feeling something.
That's okay too.
Having to take that moment. Like, we don't always have language to put to what we're feeling.
Yes.
But I think everyone here could be like, we are blessed and grateful enough to have the space to feel whatever we need to feel.
Yes.
And then say it, be like, I don't know what it is, but I'm just sit here and cry real quick.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just sit here and cry real quick. It ain't you.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
It just has to come out. It has to come out. Yeah.
I got a question for y'all.
I don't know.
Did y'all like put a time limit on, all right, we're gonna do this for a minute. If this ain't working out, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, so
Well,
my wife did that.
Okay.
She said with
For a
me,
personal?
Yeah, when we moved to Los Angeles, when we moved here, I joined the police department, right? And so I went to her with the idea and I said, hey, what do you think about this? My wife has always thought that I could do anything. And I love that about her. You know what I mean? I tell her I want to do anything. She gonna bring the suit, uniform, everything to the crib. So I went to her and I said, hey, what do you think about this? And she was like, cool. You can do it. And I kind of knew she was gonna say that because it's, I had been with her. I already know what to expect. It's kind of, But we had a conversation at that point, and she said, it was kind of like, this is the agreement. You go do it, I know you'll be great at it. But in 5 years, you're not doing that no more.
Yeah.
Right? So it wasn't, and I think your question was in lines of the people who we have, who in support of maybe you and the dreamers, right? Yeah. I didn't do that. I didn't do that to my wife and say, hey, you got X amount of years to get this done, right? Because I'm not a dreamer, right? I had kind of shut that down. And I didn't really I don't really believe in putting those kind of pressures on things. And I wasn't a believer, right? So I was a supporter. Even though I'm not, my wife would have, my wife told me we would be doing this kind of stuff. You understand what I'm saying? I didn't believe it.
You just supported the vision?
I just supported her because I love her, right? So I didn't put a time limit on it. It was more so, I just like hearing this woman talk about where we gonna be. You know what I'm saying? This is what crazy, dog. Like she would say we were gonna have these houses, these cars, these things. And it was less important for me to believe it than it was for me to support it. Wow. And I know, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I didn't have to put a time limit on it. By putting a time limit on it, I kind of felt like I took away from my support. I'm only gonna support you for X amount of years. So I didn't do that. I just said, I just said, okay, I hear you. You saying I ain't gonna have to go put this bulletproof vest on.
Yeah.
You putting that time limit out there, but I'm preparing myself to support you and finish out 30 years with these people if I have to. And I can't afford to allow me to receive what you're saying for a number of reasons, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Does it make, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I kind of, when you said that, I thought, nah, I've never done it, but the dreamer kind of indirectly did it to say, 5 years, you out of there. And I'm thinking.
I was doing that though, trying to enforce belief.
Yeah.
Right? Because if I give him, he's very analytical. So you know, if it's written down, if it's plain, he can see it. It's just like every 2 weeks, you know, his check is coming. So if I say, give me 5 years,
Yeah.
it can help him process. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
But then the 5 years had came. I was like, we're gonna have to go on back into the plan.
Dang, look,
Right.
3 more. Let me get 3 more.
let me put in.
Yeah, give me
more
another
years.
5.
Yeah.
You know?
And listen, I'm telling you,
I need an extension plan, yeah.
she would revisit it every year.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about with conviction. Hey,
Yeah.
man, next year, I'm telling you.
I believed every year was the year, right? Every day was the day. Even when I got frustrated, even when I lost faith, even when the struggle was very real. But if I presented that to him, then I would lose what little bit of support he was willing to give because he's not a dreamer, right? So I had to be wholeheartedly believing out loud.
Yeah.
Because if not, then it's gonna be like, well, what you gonna do?
Right,
You
right,
know what I'm
right.
saying? Like, what we doing?
Yeah.
Type of thing. So, you know, we moved to LA our first time, well, not LA, to California when we were 19. I didn't have no goal, I just had a dream. But I didn't know the first thing about the entertainment industry. I won't in LA, I was down in Laguna in Orange County, renting a room out, you know. And
Getting taken advantage of.
And then he came out and was like, girl, that's crazy. Like, what are you doing, right? And then moving back to North Carolina to save up, it was supposed to be a 1-year plan, right? But that 1 year turned into 5 years. And me kind of putting the dream, just tucking it away. And so we got comfortable in Greensboro, working a regular job. We had kids and had a house and all these new responsibilities. So when I presented the dream back to him, like, oh, now it's time for me to, you know, we got to go back to LA now. He was like, no, we're not doing that. We done did that. I was like, well, listen, the Lord done spoke to me, okay?
Right.
We got to go, or I got to go, you know? But he was very hesitant at first because,
We got kids. We got kids now.
Yeah.
Like, wait a minute.
yeah, so it was tough. But as you see, it turned out very well. Listen, not 5 years, but 15, and we in there though, right? So the one thing that I love that you all have said that made me think about something that I would like to just share with everyone is that her dream, right, became your dream in a sense. But what it did is because you were open, you rediscovered your dreams and new dreams, right? And the same for us. So, you know, if we're open, new things happen, right? And then all these great blessings come and you're like, oh, it's because we stuck in there together. We continue to support each other on the journey and all the blessings you get to, you know, reap the reward of that. So listen, congratulations on the journey, honey. Keep on going. I look forward to all the blessings that will come in your lives. So, honey, coming to the little coffee shop, honey, downloading the music and all those things.
Yeah, you got
right? Yes, absolutely. You got anything you want to say to him, babe?
No, I believe you said it. You said it.
Yes.
That's that.